Today's forecast calls for mostly cloudy skies in New York City with a high near 43 and a low near 27. It's Thursday, January 22nd, and this is your Boroughs in Brief. If you're looking for something to do today for not that much money, we got you covered. Here's a list of affordable things happening today and only today in New York City. Let's begin with an auction in Manhattan. Happening right now at 20 Rockefeller Plaza, it's Christie's Americana Week 2026. The 2026 series is the largest in history, comprising 9 auctions with approximately 700 lots, valued between $80 million and $120 million. This auction will feature founding documents, including a draft of the Constitution with annotations by Rufus King, estimated at $3 million to $5 million, a copy of the Emancipation Proclamation signed by Abraham Lincoln, the 1776 Broadside Declaration of Independence, and so much more. Notable lots also include the original Apple Computer Partnership Agreement from 1976, signed by Steve Jobs, and Grant Wood's Study for American Gothic. Now, if you're a history buff, this would be a fun one to attend. It's Christie's Americana Week 2026 at 20 Rockefeller Plaza at 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. You know, there's always something to do at the library. There's an adult button collage workshop at 2 p.m. at Fort Washington Library on 179th Street. This program is part of the library's Adult Crafty Creation series, designed as a relaxing and creative space for adult patrons to make various seasonal crafts. Participants will use their imagination and creativity to create original art pieces using buttons and collage techniques. Can you show up empty-handed? You sure can. All necessary materials, including buttons, collage items, and other crafting supplies, will be provided by the library. The workshop is intended to be a low-stress environment where attendees can experiment with different art processes. Again, it's an adult button collage workshop today at 2 p.m. at Fort Washington Library on 179th Street. There's a conversation going on at the Institute for Public Knowledge at NYU, a conversation on curating and collecting Australian Aboriginal art, to be exact. This starts at 6 p.m. and runs all the way until 7:30. And before we go any further, some of you may be wondering, what is Australian Aboriginal art? Well, that's a great question. Australian Aboriginal art is the world's oldest continuous art tradition, deeply rooted in spirituality, storytelling, dreamtime, and connection to the land, expressed through diverse media like bark, rock, and contemporary canvas painting, often using symbolic imagery, dots, lines, to represent ancestral stories, ceremonies, and country. Okay, now that we've got that explained, let's continue. The conversation celebrates the soft opening of the major exhibition Irititia Kuwari Tujungu, Contemporary Aboriginal Painting from the Australian Desert at NYU's Grey Art Museum. Panelists will address the history and ethics of showcasing Indigenous art and unpack topics like historical context, ethical protocols, and global impact. The panel will be moderated by Dr. Faye Ginsberg, NYU Professor of Anthropology. One more time, folks, join the conversation on curating and collecting Australian Aboriginal art tonight from 6 until 7:30 at the Institute for Public Knowledge at NYU. Let's move on to Brooklyn. Quite a few comedy shows going on in Brooklyn tonight. First, let's talk about Landline Comedy, happening tonight at 8 p.m. at Wild East Brewing. Landline Comedy is a free stand-up showcase featuring a lineup of established comedians from NYC and beyond who have previously appeared on networks like Netflix, Comedy Central, and HBO. And yes, the show is free, though attendees are encouraged to reserve a spot via Eventbrite for a chance to win a free drink. The show is hosted by Amanda Vasco, and tonight's lineup includes Liz Meal of NPR fame, Joe Nunnick, as seen at NY Comedy Festival, Liza Banks Campagna, Gracie Canan, Andre Medrano of Vice TV, Brett Hiker, as seen at the High Plains Comedy Festival, and comedian Sam Doctor. Again, it's Landline Comedy happening tonight at 8 p.m. at Wild East Brewing. Up next, we've got a little improv for you. It's Demon Time, and it's happening tonight at 8:30 at Eris in East Williamsburg. Now, this is a fully improvised comedy show featuring improv veterans from recognized troupes like the Second City and I.O. Chicago. Described by the New York Times as having the right mix of scrappy and chaotic, the show features a large rotating cast of over 20 performers. Each week consists of entirely new, wild improvised sketches and high-energy mania. Again, check out Demon Time tonight at 8:30 at Eris in East Williamsburg. If you're more into sketch comedy, well, you should go check out the show happening before Demon Time. It's aptly titled Sketch, and it's also at Eris. Sketch is a high-energy hour of sketch comedy. The showcase features original material written and performed by a diverse group of comedians from the Brooklyn Comedy Collective, or the BCC community. Doors open at 6:30 p.m., and the show begins at 7 p.m. Tickets are $12 in advance and $17 on the day of the show. Again, it's Sketch, happening tonight at Eris. All right, we've done the comedy thing. Now let's move on to the music thing. Tonight, the Brooklyn Experimental Electronic Music January Artist Showcase is taking place. It's happening at Wonderville on Broadway in Brooklyn. The Brooklyn Experimental Electronic Music January Artist Showcase is not just a mouthful, it's also an event featuring local NYC artists working in various experimental electronic music styles. The showcase starts at 7 and ends at 11 p.m. Now, if you don't want to leave, you're in luck because the official after party with DJ Ian Ford starts at 11. Tonight's lineup includes Olivia Mancuso, Video Punks, Nocturnal Melodic, and 5 Talk 3. If you've got nothing going on and you're a fan of underground electronic music, you might want to consider going to this one. It's the Brooklyn Experimental Electronic Music January Artist Showcase starting at 7 and going all the way until 11 at Wonderville in Brooklyn. So we've covered some music, we've talked about some comedy, and if none of those fit the bill, how about some dance performance? Happening tonight at the Open Art Studio in Brooklyn, it's the Exponential Festival presents Ruin. This starts at 8 p.m. and costs $18. This is an experimental solo dance performance by Alex Rodabaugh presented as part of the 11th Annual Exponential Festival. The show runs until January 25th. And a bit about the festival itself. The Exponential Festival is a month-long January performance festival dedicated to emerging NYC-based artists working in experimental performance. Founded in 2016, the festival aims to remove barriers for young artists and is recognized as a leading beacon of experimental work in NYC. Now, this specific show, Ruin, explores themes of decay, elitism, and the perpetual cycle of violence. It's described as a becoming, a death, a respawning that seeks a way out of the past into the future. The work incorporates imagery of splintered virtual realities filled with monsters and examines the fantasy of resolution to endless conflict. If you're a dance fan, you gotta go check this out. Again, it's Ruin, presented by the Exponential Festival, starting at 8 o'clock at the Open Art Studio in Brooklyn. Let's end it out in Queens, shall we? And let's start off by going to one of our favorite music venues to follow, the Storefront at Cassette. Tonight at 7:30, we've got 4 bands. First, it's Dweller. This is a Brooklyn-based post-hardcore group. Dweller has been described as loud, emotional noise designed to process personal emotions and the state of society. And this sounds lovely, described as something like the end of the world. Their debut EP, All the Things We Carry, was released in 2023, and their latest work, released in 2025, is a song titled Caught in the Light. The band is also known for their high energy and raw performances. Our next band performing tonight at Cassette, 2.0. Now, 2.0 is a rising alt-rock / grunge / shoegaze band from the New York / New Jersey scene, known for their blend of heavy grunge, like Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, and art punk shoegaze, reminiscent of Ya Ya Ya's, Interpol, and Deftones. Next is Rosetooth. Rosetooth is a relatively new Brooklyn-based rock band known for their dark, melodic sound, blending grunge, shoegaze, and alternative rock, featuring hazy, atmospheric textures with heavy riffs and ethereal vocals. The band released their self-titled EP in 2025. And finally, we've got No Fooling. This is also a relatively new underground or emerging Brooklyn-based band, known primarily through their Bandcamp pages, where they've released music like a recent 7-track demo in May 2025. That's 4 bands for the price of around $19 tonight, folks, starting at 7:30 at Cassette in Queens. The venue is a bar, so it's likely a 21 and up event. That's all for today. My name is Imran Sheikh. We hope you enjoy your Thursday. We'll be back in the Boroughs tomorrow with our weekend edition.
The next song.
Spoken Layer.